All right, y'all. It's time for a mid-month money check-in. I am walking you through what's been paid, what's been spent, and how much is left to get me through until the next payday, which for me is going to be July 31st. So, if you're budgeting in real life and not just on paper, this is the part that is really going to matter. It is going to help you to track your funds, take a deep dive into what's really going on. Are your actions matching what you're planning? And if not, do we need to regroup and readjust? Let's go ahead and get right on into it. The first thing we're going to do is recap the budget that I planned for in my last video. This is the check that I got on July 15th that should have paid for the bills that come out between July 15th and July 31st. If you look here, these are all the bills that I wrote down originally. Everything that has been highlighted in pink has already been paid for. The only thing that has not come out just yet is this hospital bill for $195.68, this Roku subscription for $7.99. Other than that, everything else has been covered up until this point. Expenses. I did spend $138.25 in groceries so far, and I have spent $34.64 in gas so far. I probably will go to the gas station sometime soon, like within the next 2 days. So by the time we get to the 31st, of course, that would have changed. We actually don't need too much grocery wise. I don't think we're going to spend the whole $250 that I set aside, but we will definitely see. As far as my debt goes, I did go ahead and pay the $178 for my car note plus that $50 extra that we talked about. And then I did go ahead and pay all $365 and some change of my Discover credit card. I did pay my balance for grad school, which was $1,263.50. Bills have been taken care of. Debt plus any extra payments that I wanted to do have been taken care of. And my expenses, I still have some money left over at this point. Now, let's jump into some expenses that weren't necessarily planned for, because some extras always pop up. So here is a breakdown of what I bought that does not fall into any of these categories. On my paper here, I am just going to make a little T chart just so I can separate what I am about to talk to you guys about. So over here, I am going to talk about what I spent. And then over here, we will talk about what is left over. First thing first, I spent $37.43 at Ross. Ross is a retail store where we go to get clothes. I don't know if y'all have a Ross where you guys are located, but we have a Ross and it happens to be one of my favorite stores to go into. I spent $114.44 at TJ Maxx, $166.83 at H&M. I spent $29 on an Etsy purchase, $37 and 42 cents at Walmart. This was on school uniforms though. So that kind of was planned. I spent $36 and 87 cents at Dave and Buster. My oldest child wanted to go meet some friends, and they decided on Dave and Buster, so that is where we went. There was a group of four of them, and they enjoyed seeing each other outside of school. So we did that. I spent $65.35 for dinner for my husband and I. We went kind of like on this impromptu date night, and I ended up spending $65.35. But those were the only purchases that were not already accounted for. Look at my little calculator, got highlighter all on it. Tell me you have children without telling me you have children. So I'm just going to go through and total all of this up and hope that I press the right buttons as I am talking. I already know y'all are like, now, where did all this random spending come from? Okay, so all of it was not random. I said in the video before that I had a birthday this week. And so I was sent some birthday money. And even though I had bought my children stuff for back to school, I had not bought myself anything for back to school. And I know that I needed some work clothes. So I decided to spend some money on some work clothes. All right. So that meant that I spent a total of $487.34 on stuff that was not necessarily in the budget, except for this Walmart purchase that technically was covered. Everything else was not covered. All right. So now we have to figure out how we can reconcile this money that was not necessarily in the budget and make sure that we did not go too far outside of what we planned for. So we have $487 that I spent, and now I'm going to try to recoup some of this money back. So for my birthday, I was given $350. So if we subtract that 487, well, we subtracted 300 from that. I should have did 350. My bad, y'all. We have 137.34. So that was B-Day money. So that did not have to come out of any of the money that I budgeted before. Now, if you watch my previous video, then you know that my children went on a day trip with one of my family members, and I sent them with $50. They did not use the entire $50, and they came back with 23.85. So technically, this 23.85 can cover some of this Dave and Buster's trip. So that's minus 23.85. All right, so that's 113.49. So you know that I set aside $20 for personal, for just myself, anything that I want to do. I put that in my cash envelopes. So I'm going to put minus $20 here for personal. And I guess that can kind of go towards date night. Date night, impromptu date night. So subtract that $20. 93.49 is what I have so far. And then I did have, remember, I had that $50 in cash set aside for school uniforms. I am going to put that 50 back from my cash envelope back to school uniforms. And I do still have actually a couple of things to get. So by the time I go back to Walmart and get the few things that I need to get, then this will definitely probably total up to $50, if not more at this point. It shouldn't, but you know, I just see stuff sometimes and be like a kid in a candy store when it comes to school supplies. I don't know. It's something about school supplies, office supplies, home decor. I really have to discipline myself and not do the absolute most. Now, I'm not a super big spender, so there are certain things that don't really move me, but maybe some school supplies and some home decor. Ooh, I got to hold on to my britches. All right, so that is $43.49 that I spent over, that not only was it not really accounted for, but I also didn't have any other categories that I could pull from to recoup some of that money. So I am $43.49 over what has been allotted for this month so far. But I will say that I did have that buffer, remember, that we talked about before, and did come in under on gas and groceries. So it's actually not too bad being at 43.49. So let's talk about the money that we actually have left. All right. Sitting in the account was 600, not 600. I wish it was 600. $462.92. So if I go ahead and put in the rest of the money that I have not put in yet, then I can give a better total of how much money I'm actually working with. So $20 I can take back to the bank. That's from that personal. I still have not put back 50 of the dollars from my birthday, so I can take that to the bank. That $50 was in cash. The other stuff was Zelled to me, so that's how that $50 got left out. And then the $50 that I took out for uniforms can also go back to the bank. So that will give me, let me see, I had 462.92 in the bank, plus that $100 there, plus $20. That'll give you $582.92. That is what I am working with now. So I still have to account for the bills that have not come out yet. $582.92 minus that medical bill, which is $195.68. And also minus that pesky Roku subscription. I put that in the wrong place. Oh, that is going to get on my teacher nerves. $7.99 for that. So I have the $582.92 minus that bill for $195.68. They gave me $387.24 minus the $7.99 for that Roku subscription. So that is $379.25 that I have left to work with. So now, remember, I still have my expenses in the budget that I have not finished using. So if we look at groceries, I budgeted $250. And so far, I have used, I don't even remember. Let me go back. Let me go back because I did write it down. $138.25. So $250 that I originally budgeted, and I used $138.25. So that leaves me with $111 and 75 cents. And then for gas, I set aside $160, and I have only used, I think it was 34. Let me see. I have only used $34.64. Listen, when I start back working, this saving on gas is gonna look crazy. So $160 that I put aside, I have only used $34.64 so far. Today for me is Sunday. I usually go to the gas station on Sundays. I did not go to the gas station today. So, like I said earlier, that is gonna change. That leaves me with $125.36 that I could spend on gas. I am not going to need $125. I can tell you that already. So, with groceries and gas, why my pen trying to stop working on me? If I add these together, I should have $237.11 left in the budget that I can safely use that has already been accounted for. So, with that $379.25 minus, if I do happen to use all of this 237 $37.11, which I don't think I am going to use it all, that is going to leave me with, let me see, 379.25 minus 237.11 will be $142.14 is now my new buffer. So if anything comes up between now and the 31st, I have $142.14 of unaccounted money that can help me out there. So that is my real number for what I have left as of right now at the end of this cycle in terms of bills, expenses, paying off debt, pay my tuition, and I still have $142.14, which I am not upset about at all because all of my stuff is paid. And that's with me still having money that I could spend on groceries and to get gas. A lot of people in my personal life ask me, why do I work summer school? Because if I do not work summer school, then me being able to do extra debt payoffs or going ahead and paying off my tuition for my whole first semester would not have been possible. I already knew if I wanted to go back to school and I wanted to pay for it out of pocket, that I was going to have to work some hours or some time that was not just during the regular school year. This shows that I made a good decision to go ahead and take the opportunity to make some extra money. All right, y'all. So that's where we are real numbers, real decisions to be made. And if you did not get to see the original video that this is referencing, the actual budget that I had to do, I will drop it in the description box. Just let me know in the comments how your middle of the month or this time of the month is looking for you budget wise as well. And are you making things stretch like me? Are you making it do what it do so that we can finish getting through this summer month strong? And also, if you did not do a budget for July, do not fret. Just know that you can literally start budgeting tonight if you wanted to. So you would just take whatever money you have in your account right now, like right this second, and just make a plan for every single dollar based on whatever bills you still have, whatever things you would still like to. So if you did not make a budget, you are not behind the eight ball. You can always hop in there at any time and make a plan for your money. Don't forget to like and share this channel with somebody. The next video, y'all, is going to be about this $13,000 worth of credit card debt that I was able to pay off in just like a little over a year. So make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on that one. All right. Bye, y'all.